Thank you for clicking on the video. Okay, I decided to come in and talk to you guys about the story behind my book, Boys Like Me, which is my memoir. That is, it was released October 13th of 2013. It took roughly about maybe 8 to maybe 10 months, maybe 10 months to actually put together because I thought it was done in about 8 months, and then some more stuff had actually transpired. But the book actually, like I said, is my memoir, and it actually goes from basically everything I can remember, kind of from like age 3, literally up until 2013. So that's kind of the thing I have in memory, like in a goddamn elephant. But it was interesting to say the least. Once you start talking about your memoir, you're talking about your life. So, you know, one of the big things is what to tell, what not to tell, and that kind of thing. See, I don't live that kind of life. I have always lived the kind of a life that I have always been able to. I need to be able to look at myself in the mirror, so I don't live in a way that I'm embarrassed about. I try not to do anything that I can't look at myself in the mirror and be happy with who's looking back at me. So I kind of live that way. But then, like I said, writing this, it was going to be, you know, I live my truth every day. But it was just a whole thing of what to tell, what not to tell, what's going to involve other people. Then I just got to a point where I said, I don't really give a shit. I'm going to tell my story, but I'm going to tell my story. I'm not going to, tell family secrets and this, that, thing, and the other. Now, some secrets are going to come out because there's things that people don't know, but it's my story. So that's all I told. I told my story. Now, if you were a person who unfortunately ended up overstepping and being in my lane, and part of your story ended up being part of my story, that ain't my motherfucking problem. So that's kind of where it went. It was a very cleansing process for me because I ended up, there were things that I thought I was over that I wasn't really over. There were times in the book when I was pissed off. There were times in the book when I felt kind of sad. There's times when I ended up standing up, pacing the floor, wanting to fuck somebody up, you know, that kind of thing. So that's why when I say it was very cleansing. And a lot of times there was times when there was tears and there was all of that. It's like reliving your life. And a lot of things I thought I was over, I wasn't really over, but now I am. And the good thing is I'm really writing it for whatever reason. I was able to get some things and let them go. Things I was mad, but not mad anymore. Um, Found a different way to deal with people too. You know, some things it got interesting, very very interesting. Um, and there was fallout to everything, absolutely. Uh, there was exposure of things that uh, my mom was one of the big ones. My mother found out a lot of things that she didn't know about that had actually taken place in the past that I didn't tell her about. So that was a very thin line. That was a very touchy thing. She found out things about her past that she didn't know and found out people for who they kind of were. She didn't think they were. That got very interesting. Um, there were people who wanted to challenge me and said, "Oh, I want to have a sit down with you." No, I don't think you really do. And when I did do that, it didn't go very well, because I'm not playing nice. I'll sit down with you, and it was really always, it was about them. It wasn't about me. Well, you put that in the book and everybody's going to know it was me, but that was the whole motherfucking point. That was the whole motherfucking point. If you feeling some kind of way about it, sounds to me like whatever you did, you shouldn't have fucking did. Whatever it was that was said, you shouldn't have partake if in, and you wouldn't have these issues. So it was one of those kind of things. I had folks that stopped speaking to me Did I give a fuck? No, because you had already did something in the book that I probably should have been speaking to your motherfucking ass anyway. So, that it was that kind of thing. And it was real, one person that really didn't want to speak to me was because they asked me to not release the book. And I said, no, I can't do that. And but I apologized to you. I don't care. And I forgave you for your indiscretions. So whatever. But no, I'm going to release my book, honey. You did whatever you did, and now I'm going to make money from it. Now go away. And I didn't give a fuck if you didn't speak, you know. And it really all ended up being summed up with my thing was there's not one lie in the book. I could stand on the stand in everything that I wrote in that book. And if you find a lie in that book, feel free to sue me because you can. I don't have that was 2013. Ain't no lawsuits came because I didn't lie on anybody. I don't lie on anybody. Everything that went on, there's at least two people that could say, no, bitch, I remember when that happened. So there's no lies, just a couple attitudes. There's some people that holding on to some things that are still mad. Are they even worth being bothered with? No, they're not. The story is my story to tell. The story's been told, and it is what it is. By telling the story, hopefully somebody won't have to go through some of the bullshit that I actually went through. A lot of kids running around killing themselves and carrying on over some of the dumb shit that I've already experienced. So that was one of the big things. So getting it out, and hopefully it'll help somebody. Now, when I said that there was like a 2-month period where I thought I was done in like 8 months, but it really went into a whole nother 2 months thing. My biological father actually passed away in the midst of the book being written. And the funny part was I had not actually even written anything about my father figure or my biological father. I just hadn't even talked about that at all. I talked about my mother and my brother and whatever. I hadn't spoken about any of that. Once he died, because I had no relationship with him, but I'm going to tell you all that. You have to go get the book and read the book. But once I started to deal in that, I had to deal with those feelings about all that. So that took another 2 months. So that's why it ended up taking like 10 months as opposed to 8 months when I thought I was done. So that was kind of it. But again, it put things in perspective. I got some things up and off of me. And again, it opened up the door and turned on the lights to a lot of things. I didn't have to deal with a lot of people that I've been dealing with who were fake and phony any goddamn way. So it's been very interesting. It was a very interesting ride. And would I do it all again? Absolutely. I would absolutely do it all again. And hell, I might have told something else, but whatever. So that's that. But it's actually, the book is called Boys Like Me. And it actually is available on Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, all of that stuff. It's available on Kindle and actually on paperback. So go run and grab a copy if you really want to know more about me. That whole thing. But anyway, that was it. So thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.